faithful Niner Empire. It's about that time. It's 3 o'clock. Come kick it with your boy, Jay in the Bay. I appreciate all the Niners fans coming on, watching the channel. Obviously, you guys saw the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about Alex Smith today. And what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section. What are your thoughts when you think about, Alex Smith and his contribution to the 49ers? Make sure you leave your thoughts in them comments. But first of all, wifey made a purchase for your boy. And before I go into that, how you guys doing today? It's a Tuesday, middle of the week. Probably a lot of people either got off from work or got the day off. Let me know how you doing. What's on your mind today? But wifey got your boy some new 49er swag. Y'all see it? So I can't wait to open it up. Let's get into it. Well, this is nice. Y'all see it? What y'all think about the shirt? Let me know. Let's put this bad boy on. And shout out to Celts Chronicles. That's where I got the shirt from. Celts Chronicles. Check him out on YouTube. He also talks about the Niners. But this is the shirt. Red and gold Niners. It's pretty nice. I like the shirt. Thank you at Celts Chronicles. Make sure you check him out on YouTube. But, when I think about Alex Smith, I like to think about the path before Alex Smith. Like, between 97 and 2002, y'all remember Steve Mariucci, the Mooch. He had some playoff success with Jeff Garcia and, Terrell Owens, Garrison Hurst. And the last year that Mariucci was there, I believe it was 2002. And the following year, the Niners had got rid of Garcia, got rid of T.O., got rid of Garrison Hurst. And if you guys can remember, the head coach they brought in was Dennis Erickson, the college, former college head coach at Oregon State. And the first year he was with the team, 7-9. The next year, 2-14. And obviously the team and Dennis Erickson parted ways after that season. And that set us up for the 2005 NFL draft. We had the first overall pick. And there was speculation, would we draft Aaron Rodgers? Would we draft Alex Smith? And, we drafted Alex Smith. And when I think about Alex Smith's tenure with the Niners, it was, he never had the same offensive coordinator, That's a huge deal for a young quarterback. To have continuity with the offensive coordinator, to learn a system, to practice it, it benefits a young quarterback, especially, having the same system for many years. If you look at a lot of the great quarterbacks, they've been in the system for several years, and it's definitely benefited them. But I remember Alex Smith, the first year he came in, 2005, he had, Mike Nolan was the head coach, and I remember the slogan. It was "Rolling with Nolan." I remember that slogan with Mike Nolan. He was supposed to turn the franchise around. First year as a head coach, we draft Alex Smith. The first year, Alex Smith was the starting quarterback. We had Mike McCarthy. He was the offensive coordinator for the Niners. We only won 4 games that year, and then he leaves in that offseason, 2005, and he becomes a head coach of the Green Bay Packers. The next year, we get Norv Turner. Now, Norv Turner, famous offensive coordinator, done it for many years. He spent decades in the NFL, and, Alex Smith was only under Norv Turner for 1 year. That offseason, Norv Turner got the head coaching job with the San Diego Superchargers. And then in 2007, he had offensive coordinator Jim Hostler. The following year, he had offensive coordinator Mike Martz. So you see the pattern here where he has a different offensive coordinator, and that doesn't help, in his maturation process. That doesn't help him become a better quarterback. So that's what I think about when I think about the Alex Smith years, at least the first few years, just multiple offensive coordinators. He only had 2 offensive coordinators in his tenure with the Niners, where he had them for multiple seasons. That was 2009 and 2010 with Jimmy Ray. Didn't go to the playoffs that year. And then, Alex Smith's best moments was when Harbaugh came into town, baby. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Alex Smith was, he played his best under Harbaugh, and that led to playoff success and a Super Bowl appearance. And of course, I remember when Kaepernick was granted the starting position because Alex Smith, I believe he had a concussion in the 2012 season. But when I think of Alex Smith, obviously it didn't work out. He wasn't, the franchise quarterback that we expected him to be, when we drafted him with the number 1 overall pick. But he had those last 2 seasons with the team in 2011 and 2012 under Harbaugh. He balled out, and he parlayed that into, a long-term contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was with the Chiefs for, 4 or 5 years, and then they eventually got Pat Mahomes. But that's what I think of when I think about Alex Smith. Faithful Niner Empire. What do you guys think? When you think of Alex Smith with the 49ers, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But as you guys all know, this is a show about the fans. It's about you guys. So I want to see you guys in the comment section. And let's get to those comments. First comment, Matt Navarro. What's good? Matt says, they said we would have won the Super Bowl with Alex Smith instead of Cap. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I can't lie. When Kaepernick came in, he brought another a level of play to the quarterback position for the Niners. He was able to, run with the best players in the NFL. I remember we went up to Green Bay Packers and Kaepernick, beat them. And, the Packers hadn't lost a game at Lambeau Field in like years. And the Niners went up there and put it on them. So, Alex Smith was good. But it seemed like Harbaugh felt that Kaepernick could take him to another level. And it's interesting, the Alex Smith Kaepernick dynamic was interesting because we're in the same situation right now with Jimmy G. Jimmy G, he's solid. When he's healthy, he can get us into a deep playoff run, possibly to another Super Bowl. But Shanahan feels like, we need to level up, and we need to get a quarterback who can do even more, and we can be even more dynamic at the quarterback position. So thanks for the comment, Matt. Niners all day. What's good? Thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you joining the stream. Baker Man says, I'm ready. Thanks for tuning in, Baker. Redder says, hi. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. 49ers Ultimate Report, John J. What's good? Alex Smith was a roller coaster. Yeah, I know, right? Alex Smith had a roller coaster career. He dealt with injuries throughout his career. I feel like he dealt with bad coaches, Mike Nolan. He's a good defensive coordinator, but he wasn't equipped to be a good head coach. Alex Smith had, Mike Singletary, who's, he's a good linebacker coach, Hall of Fame player at the linebacker position, but he just wasn't a good head coach. And I think after Singletary, I believe he had, I think that was it. I think it was after Singletary, then it was Jim Harbaugh. So, Jim Harbaugh definitely brought the best out of Alex Smith. But, yeah, there's no question that, Alex Smith had a roller coaster career. There was inconsistency on his part. He was hurt a lot of the time. He missed the entire 2008 season due to a shoulder injury. But this team was in turmoil before, Alex Smith was drafted. In 2004, our starting quarterbacks were Tim Rattay, Cody Pickett, and Ken Dorsey. So that's pretty terrible for a quarterback room. That was in 2004. And that's why we went 2-14 and drafted Alex Smith the following year. But Alex Smith with the Niners, the last 2 years, obviously those were his best. And he played good in Kansas City. And he was playing good in Washington before he had that devastating leg injury. And if he didn't have that leg injury, he would probably still be playing now. But it's better that Alex Smith, walked out. He could walk out instead of getting carried out, So Looks like Redder says Alex Smith is a great person and used to be a great player. Yeah, I agree. He had, he could. Alex Smith couldn't win you a Super Bowl, but he was steady enough where he's not going to lose the game for you. He may not make the big plays. He didn't like to throw. He didn't like to take a lot of chances on the football field, and that's good because you don't throw interceptions and things like that. You don't turn the ball over, but then you also sometimes you need that big play to win games, and sometimes Alex Smith didn't always do that. Splash out. Thanks for coming through to the stream. What's good? Looks like Redder says, yeah, Alex Smith definitely had some up and downs. Yeah, no, for sure. He definitely had up and downs, in his career. Through the latter part of his career, besides the injury, he was successful in KC. They didn't win a Super Bowl, but he had playoff success in KC. And I believe they went to the playoffs every year. He was a starting quarterback there, but Andy Reid had higher expectations. Andy Reid was trying to get his first Super Bowl. Andy Reid was coming over from Philly. And, they had success in Philly, went to a Super Bowl. They were always in the playoffs, but they couldn't win the big game. And Andy Reid just felt he couldn't win the big game with Alex Smith. Or I don't think they went to the Super Bowl with Alex Smith was the starting quarterback. So, but good thing he did that, Andy Reid, because now, he's got Pat Mahomes. He's got a quarterback for the future. So, splash out. Thanks for enjoying the stream, man. I appreciate you. And 49ers Ultimate Report, 49ers shirts. Hell yeah, that's right. This is nice. I really like this shirt. Got it from Celts Chronicles. Check him out on YouTube. He's a fellow YouTuber. Talks about the red and gold. He's in love with Trey Lance. So, check him out. Celts Chronicles on YouTube. And Redder says, yeah, he has tons of Steelers shirts. Yeah, I love to collect the 49ers shirts. Sports Review, thanks for coming through. What's good? And looks like Souder the Savage, thanks for coming through to the stream. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to your boy, Jay intheBay. I'm on YouTube, IG, and Twitter. The links are right there below the screen. Check me out. I appreciate it. And let's get back to these comments. Let's see. Souder the Savage says, I'm still bitter for Alex Smith against the Saints in the 2011 divisional round, but much respect to him for his comeback story. Yeah. I mean, that's one of his, greatest moments in the red and gold, Alex Smith, that playoff game against the Saints. He threw that big touchdown pass to Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis was crying. He was overwhelmed with emotion. And, Alex Smith, that was like a, there wasn't much great defense played in that game. Both defenses were playing hard, but both offenses were hard to stop. He was going toe-to-toe with Drew Brees, the future Hall of Famer. And, Alex Smith, that's definitely one of his greatest games, definitely against the Saints in that playoff game. So, and Redder says he did well in the Chiefs, though. Yeah, exactly. Like, Alex Smith, he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think for his career, he's probably like an above average quarterback, but he played well with the Chiefs. And he played well with Washington before the leg injury. I believe before the leg injury with the Washington football team, I believe they were, I want to say 5-2, 6-1, something like that. So, they were on their way to becoming a playoff team, but, injuries took them out. So, 49ers Ultimate Report says so many offensive coordinators between 05 and 10. That is bad management by the team. Jim Harbaugh made him a game manager. Andy Reid made him a better quarterback from game manager to a second-tier NFL quarterback. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard enough for a rookie quarterback to come in, first overall. He was out of Utah University under Urban Meyer. It's hard enough to start as a rookie quarterback day one, especially with the team the previous year went 2-14. So, there's not that much talent on the team. Not only does he have to deal with that, but also there's no continuity. There's no, he has to learn a different system every year. And that makes it harder for the quarterback to do his job when he has to learn different language every season. He didn't have that many great players, playing with him. I know he had Gore. I know he had Vernon Davis, but if you look at the draft, we didn't draft any great wide receivers during his time. The one I can remember, I know we had Crabtree, but there were a few wide receivers that were bust, like Rashawn Woods. Alex Smith had Brandon Lloyd for a few years, and he was solid, but that's another thing. They didn't draft well during his tenure. But, with Harbaugh, exactly what 40 Match Ultimate Report said, Harbaugh made him a game manager. Harbaugh brought toughness on the defensive side of the ball. That's probably one of the greatest eras of defense the 49ers have had since the 80s with, Pat Willis, Bowman, Justin Smith, Aldon Smith, Deshaun Goldson, Dante Hittner. Like, there was a lot of Carlos Rogers was on there. So, Harbaugh brought that toughness on the defensive side of the ball. We were running the rock with Frank Gore, and, our motto was playing great defense and running the ball with Frank Gore, and Alex Smith limit the mistakes and take what the defense gives you. So, and when he was with the Chiefs, Alex Smith, yeah, he was pretty good. He just couldn't have that sustained playoff success. And that's why ultimately Andy Reid wanted to go in a different direction. So, but that's what I want to talk about with Alex Smith. Just first overall pick, 2005 draft, and obviously it didn't really work out between him and the Niners. But those last 2 years he played pretty well, and he was able to make a career out of the NFL. He played 16 seasons. I mean, he was doing something right. I mean. Let's go to the sports star. He says, going to be really interesting to see what happens with the third pick for the Niners. Tell me about it, sports star. And thanks for tuning in to the stream, baby. What's good? Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We just don't know who is Shanahan's guy. That's one of the things I'm very, very intrigued about. Who is Shanahan's guy? I mean, we just don't know. Who is his guy? We got Jimmy G. Hopefully he will, start with the team next season. The only way I don't see Jimmy G starting is if someone gives us an offer we can't refuse. So if someone says, I give you a first round plus a pick, like a first and a third or multiple day 2 picks, that's the only way I can see it, because I don't want a rookie quarterback starting. Game 1, even though we do have the defense, we do have the running game to support the quarterback. I just don't feel a rookie quarterback coming in will be better than Jimmy G, who already knows the system, who's comfortable with the players. So, but we'll see, because everyone's heard the rumors of Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields, who would be the best fit. But the Niners are in a great situation. We can pick out of the 3 best quarterbacks that will be left after Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. So, Golden Grizz, what's good? Thanks for coming into the stream, baby. Looks like CG Ruthless Sports, what's good? What's good, CG? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Let's see. Steven says, I enjoy your content, Steven. Also, your updates, man. You keep me up to date on all the news that's coming in the NFL, because there's so much stuff happening. But looks like Steven says OTA should be canceled and not just Titans. Titans announced their announcement today. I was against OTAs with a number of teams that have players refusing to go to voluntary practices over half. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, the OTAs, I believe they're voluntary, and it's all digital. It's all on the computer. I think the teams are allowed to be in the weight room. They can lift weights. But yeah, I just want to see a full season this year, and I believe everything will be virtual learning until minicamp. And I believe minicamp is in late May, I believe, and then in July it'll be the mandatory training camp. So obviously that most likely will be in person, but we'll see how it goes. But I don't know about you guys, but it seems like a lot of people are taking the vaccine. Seems like it's definitely the way to go. But hopefully all the players and everyone watching stays safe, and we'll see what happens with the OTAs and the training camp. So Sports Star says, what would you do with the third pick? So with the third pick, I would definitely select a quarterback. I would either select Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I really feel like you can't go wrong with either of those quarterbacks. I feel like they're both good. They're both have strong arms. They both can read defenses. They both can be dual threats, and I think that's what you want. I think that's what Shanahan wants in a quarterback. Someone who, not their first action would be to run, but someone that can take the snap, survey the field, see what the defense is doing, make the right read, make the right throw, be accurate, and I think both of those quarterbacks can do it. So I won't be disappointed if it's either Lance or Fields. Now, if it's Mac Jones, I would be scratching my head a little bit because Mac Jones had a hell of a career, Alabama, but I don't think we would have to move up to pick 3 to get Mac Jones. I just because I've seen a lot of mock drafts. Obviously, mock drafts, they're not they can't predict the future, but I didn't see Mac Jones even being selected in the top 10. So I just don't feel like we would move all the way up to 3 to get Mac Jones. But we'll see who is Shanahan's guy, faithful. We'll see who it is. Redder says Fields is probably the best decision. Yeah, I agree. I would say Fields. There's definitely Lance is intriguing because we haven't seen that much tape of him. He only played 1 game last year, but from what we've seen, he looks pretty good. It would be interesting to see if Lance played on Ohio State last year. Would Ohio State had the same success? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Baker Man, Jay in the Bay. Exactly. Let's see. Niners all day says, I think Fields is a safe decision, but if they're feeling risky, take Lance. Yeah, I feel like, I would agree. Lance is considered to be raw, considered to be a project, but that's fine because whether we pick Lance or Fields or even, hell, if we pick Mac Jones, I don't think they'll start. The only way they'll start is if we trade Jimmy G. And the only way they'll trade Jimmy G is if we get an offer we can't refuse. I don't think they would trade Jimmy for a second or a third round pick. If it was multiple picks, but how about this? Faithful, answer this for me. If Jimmy G is traded before the start of the season, I mean, do you really want the rookie quarterback to start, or would you rather have Josh Rosen, Nate Sudfeld, Josh Johnson? I mean, those are the options, behind Jimmy G. I don't know about you. It would be exciting if Lance or Fields would start game 1. I ain't gonna lie, it would be exciting just to see what they do. But there's gonna be a transition period from college to the pros, and for this team right now, for the players that we have, a lot of players on 1-year deals, I think it's clear that the Niners and Lynch, Shanahan still feel like that we can win now, and I just don't want to put a rookie quarterback in that situation. I'd rather have Jimmy G, a proven vet. I know he had that 1 year, that magical 2019 year, but he's proven he can play at the highest level. And I feel more comfortable going with Jimmy G because of what I've seen than a quarterback that I haven't seen in the pros do it at the highest level. The Sports Star says, I agree, but 1 year behind a quarterback like Jimmy G and Shanahan's system would do anyone good. And I totally agree. That's why I feel like whoever the quarterback is, they should sit at least 1 year and learn behind Jimmy G. Now, if last year we were 2-14 and Jimmy G was already gone, then yeah, why not throw in a rookie quarterback? But I still feel like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I still feel like this team can win at the highest level. Our division is really tough. With the Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks, every one of those teams got better. And I feel more comfortable with having Jimmy G as my starter. Osby Sports, what's good? Keep up with your content, Osby Sports, man. I'm enjoying your content. I like hearing you talk about the red and gold, the Niners. And your channel is growing exponentially, man. You already got, 200 plus subscribers. I remember when I first saw your channel maybe about a few months ago, it was, you were just getting started like everyone else. So you didn't have that many subscribers, but keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing an excellent job. And I enjoy hearing your perspective on the red and gold, man. And thanks for tuning in to the stream. Looks like Damian Lee says, I agree. I want Lance, but I want Creed in the second round. Yeah, that second round pick will definitely be intriguing because we could go a few different ways. We could go edge rusher. We could go offensive lineman like Creed because he could play center. He could play guard. Also, we could go corner. So I appreciate your thoughts, Damian. But, yeah, we could definitely go several ways in the round 2. I feel like we'll probably go best player available from the corner interior lineman or edge rusher, or maybe even a receiver. Because I feel like we definitely do need another receiver. But speaking of players, I saw on the news today that the 49ers are hosting running back Wayne Gallman from the New York Giants. Wayne Gallman is 6 feet, 210 pounds. He was drafted out of Clemson in the 2017 NFL draft in the 4th round. He would be a nice addition to the 49ers running back room with Mostert, Wilson Jr., and Jermichael Hasty. So Gallman has carried the ball 338 times. He's got 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. He got a lot of playing time last year with the Giants because of Saquon Barkley. He had the torn ACL. So last year, Gallman played in 15 games. He had 147 carries, 682 yards, and about 6 touchdowns. So he didn't have a ton of yards, but he did average 4.6 yards per carry, and that's a pretty good per carry average in the NFL. Like, that's probably slightly above average. Like, obviously, you probably want to be at 5.5, but the average is probably about 4, so he's right above average. So I think that's good. He will be a good addition to the team. He can also catch the ball out the backfield. He had 21 catches, 114 yards. What do you guys think about running back Wayne Gallman? He's currently being hosted by the Niners, and hopefully we can bring in another veteran running back. It seems like Lynch is taking the approach with iron sharpens iron, because we're also hosted Tony Jefferson, a safety from Baltimore. So bringing another running back, competition at a high level is very good. It raises the level of play with everyone on the team, because let's face it, no position is guaranteed. Just look at Jimmy G, the quarterback. No position is guaranteed. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other players Lynch brings in. And it looks like 49ers Thoughts says, yo, what's up? What's good? Thanks for coming through, 49er Thoughts. Looks like he wants Justin Fields at pick number 3. And you are not alone in that. I think everyone else would like Fields. I would like Fields or Lance. Lance seems to be more of a wild card, seems to be more of a raw player, but I'll be satisfied with Fields or Lance at that 3rd pick. I feel like after Lawrence and Wilson are gone, I just feel like Fields and Lance are the best players left, I feel, at the quarterback spot. Looks like Redder says he thinks Fields would be the best fit. Looks like Damian Lee says, I want to extend Fred Warner now. Let's trade Armstead and our 2nd round to the Jets to free up money to extend Warner. Yeah, we definitely need to extend Fred Warner. He's the best, middle linebacker in the NFL. He's probably going to get upwards of between 18 to 20 mil per year. But I believe the NFL will be signing their new TV agreement. And when they do that, the NFL will have a more influx of money to the salary cap, which will obviously benefit the teams and the players. So I don't know if Fred Warner wants to wait until that happens. I think it's supposed to happen next year. Or does he want to sign now and get what he can now? But yeah, from the 49ers perspective, we definitely need to extend Fred Warner. He's our best defensive player. And with Armstead, I would say he's overpaid at this point. So who would want to take on, Armstead's contract right now? I don't know. Is he a good player? He's good against the run. He just doesn't get enough sacks for me playing the defensive end. Now, if you switch to defensive tackle, he might be better. But I think that's a great move to extend Fred Warner now. And I wouldn't mind if Armstead wouldn't take a pay cut. I wonder why we haven't seen that yet with Armstead. Maybe he'll take a pay cut or something, but looks like 49 Thought says, I feel bad for Jimmy, though. Why you feel bad for Jimmy? I mean, Jimmy, when he was traded over from New England, he balled out for those 5 games. He got paid. He got that big long-term contract extension. The first year was, it was a fluke. He tore his ACL against KC. The second year took us to the Super Bowl, was an integral part in getting us to the championship. Last year, it was disappointing. He got hurt again. I've heard a wise man once said the best ability is availability. And Jimmy G ain't been available, Unfortunately, he hasn't been available. And that's why he's in the position he is now, I think, I know, the NFL is a business, and unfortunately, I'm not saying it's Jimmy's fault, but we can't rely on Jimmy to stay healthy. So I thought we would before we made that trade to get into the top three, I thought, well, if we don't get a quarterback high, then we at least need to improve the quarterback room. I was thinking before we made the trade to get into the top three, I was thinking maybe go after, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Cam Newton, maybe Teddy Bridgewater, something like that. Bring in someone else to compete with Jimmy, to push Jimmy, light a fire under Jimmy, and also have someone capable in case Jimmy G gets hurt. So I wouldn't say I feel bad for him, but 49 thoughts. Let me know why you feel bad for Jimmy. Jimmy's in a perfect situation right now. I'll tell you why. If he starts the season with the Niners, he balls out. He comes in determined. He comes in with a chip on his shoulder, like he has something to prove. And I think if he balls out this season, he has a no-trade clause. Let's say he leads us to the playoffs. The 49ers can move off of Jimmy next year. He can pretty much decide where he wants to get traded to since he has that no-trade clause in his contract. And then Jimmy will be on another team leading a different franchise, and then he could, get extended. His contract will get extended. So I think Jimmy is in, I think, this is professional sports. It's not, this isn't, middle school. This isn't high school. This happens all the time. And hopefully Jimmy comes in with a chip on his shoulder, with a fire lit under him, and he's ready to ball out because he's playing for his NFL career right now. Jimmy is. And, I feel like he's in a good situation right now. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report. He says if Zach Wilson is there at 3, yes, but Justin Fields or Trey Lance are good too. Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard any indication besides, Jacksonville wanting to take Trevor Lawrence. I haven't heard anything that the Jets are definitely going to take Zach Wilson. We don't know who they feel is the next best quarterback after Trevor Lawrence. I haven't heard anything about that. And obviously, we know they're going to take a quarterback because they traded away Sam Darnold to Carolina. So, but yeah, we'll see. If Zach Wilson is there at 3, we definitely take Zach Wilson. But there's no guarantee. Fields could be taken up by the Jets or Lance, so we'll see what happens. It's like Steven says, New York Giants looking to trade down at number 11. Which team can grant it? I don't know. So the Giants want to trade down. Yeah, I don't know who they would trade with. I wonder what's their number one, team need with the Giants. I mean, they got Daniel Jones. They got the running game. So I'm not sure what they would want. But let me know, Steven. Let me know. Looks like Damien says this talk of drafting a quarterback should motivate Jimmy. Oh, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. He should harness his skills and try to stay healthy. No, I feel you. And, I'm not saying Jimmy got hurt was his fault. The torn ACL is basically a fluke. I mean, we see that injury every day in sports, the torn ACL, unfortunately. And hopefully, like you said, this will motivate Jimmy to come in with a chip on his shoulder, have a fire lit under him, and ready to prove people wrong because he's playing for his NFL future right now. Let's see. Looks like Niners All Day says he wants Elijah Molden in the second. He's a great corner. Yeah, we definitely need to get younger at the cornerback spot. Yeah, I can't wait for the draft to see who we get in the second. I'll be interested to see if the 49ers decide to move up into the first round of the draft again because they've done that before in previous drafts. They did it in 2017 with Reuben Foster, did it with Brandon Ayuk. So I'm curious to see if the 49ers, because we have a lot of picks in the draft. I think we got like 10 plus picks in this draft. So, we could move up back into the first to get another starter, but we'll see. Looks like Damien says Carolina has a stable of quarterbacks with Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater. They do. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Teddy Bridgewater gets traded maybe on draft night or, Denver needs a quarterback. I've heard that Atlanta, they have the 4th pick in the draft. They are looking to trade down. So they'll probably trade with the team that wants to take a quarterback high, like maybe the Patriots, the Broncos, maybe the Washington football team. All those teams need a quarterback. But Teddy Bridgewater, he kind of reminds me of Alex Smith. He's a solid quarterback. He's not gonna, you know, he's not gonna necessarily take you to a Super Bowl, but he won't, lose the game for you as well. So Teddy Bridgewater could be traded on draft day. He says, Niners All Day says, if you look at Elijah Molden's tape, he's a great fit for us. Yeah, no, I agree. He looks great on film, and I can't wait to see, who he gets drafted to, because I'm sure there are other teams that do need corners that will probably be looking in the second round of the draft or maybe the late first to get corners. So, yeah, second draft, the day 2 and day 3 drafts will be interesting for the Niners because we need depth at multiple positions in the draft. I feel like our needs are, corner, interior offensive lineman, right tackle behind McGlinchey, and I feel like we need a wide receiver and edge rusher. And speaking of McGlinchey, McGlinchey has about, I think we have about 2 or 3 weeks to decide what we're going to do with McGlinchey. Now, faithful Niner Empire, what should we do with McGlinchey? We have to decide by May 2nd if we should extend his contract with the 5th-year option. So the 5th-year option of McGlinchey's contract would guarantee him $10 million for next season. Now, McGlinchey, the first few years when Staley was here, McGlinchey was solid. He was playing pretty good. Last year, he struggled a lot in pass protection. Hopefully, that was just due maybe to his weight, and hopefully this year in the offseason, he puts on a little bit of weight. He plays also with a chip on his shoulder, but I would be surprised if we signed McGlinchey long term. I'm sure McGlinchey and his representation, when they, when they're ready to extend a contract, get like a 4 or 5 year deal, they're not going to take any discounts. They're going to want to get paid, as a top 10 tackle. And I don't know if that necessarily benefits the 49ers because we got to re-sign Fred Warner. And usually if we already, backed up the Brinks truck for the big silverback Trent Williams. So I don't know if we want to extend some more funds to Mike McGlinchey. So that could be an option in the draft. Also, let me know, guys, in the comments, what do you think we should do with McGlinchey? Maybe trade him. Maybe the draft compensation we get for him, we can draft someone to replace him this year. And the reason I say draft someone to replace him is because I just don't think he'll be with the team long term. I think this season will most likely be his last season unless we, extend that 5th-year contract option for him next year. So we'll see. Looks like Redder says, I totally forgot where Molden goes to college. Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like Niners All Day says Washington. Okay. And looks like Redder does say he's pretty good. And yeah, Redder, no, I appreciate the information. Steelers did extend head coach Mike Tomlin to a 3-year contract. I think that's a great deal. It's continuity. The Steelers are one of the, great franchises of the NFL. I believe they've only had like 4 coaches in their career. I think, it was obviously we got Tomlin. The head coach before that was, I forgot his name, but he did win a Super Bowl and he coached Jerome Bettis. I forgot his name, but he's on TV right now. And then I think before that you had Chuck Noll. So I think they've only had like 3 or 4 Bill Cowher. That was his name, Bill Cowher. So Bill Cowher was before Mike Tomlin. He won them a Super Bowl. So that's good for the Steelers. I think that's how teams should do it. I don't think you just fire a coach after, 2 seasons or a season. You got to let a coach get in there, get his players, develop them. Like, it takes time. Like, I know now everyone wants you to win right away, but most time it just doesn't happen like that. So shout out to Mike Tomlin. Good to see him get extended with them good old Pittsburgh Steelers. Derpy boy, what's good? Thanks for coming into the stream, man. Another bit of 49 news. I believe they're hosting Arden Key. So Arden Key, he's a defensive end. He last played with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's 6'5", 240. He hasn't really lived up to expectations. He was drafted out of the 3rd round out of LSU. And for his career, Arden Key, he's had 49 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks in 3 seasons. So he hasn't really, lived up to his expectations as a third-round pick. But, he could be a solid rotational defensive end. So I'm intrigued to see what the 49ers do with Arden Key. Ronald Blair, last week there were reports that he was interested in signing with the Niners, and the Niners were interested in signing him back to a 1-year deal, but it was all pending a physical. And I haven't heard anything about Ronald Blair. Have you guys heard anything about Ronald Blair? I mean, a week ago, he was supposed to, just pass his physical and he would get signed, but I haven't heard anything from Ronald Blair. And obviously he plays the defensive end position. So Ronald Blair, we'll see what happens with him. Arden Key, he's in for a visit. Tony Jefferson is also in for a visit with the Niners. He plays the safety position. Competition is good among the players, but we got a lot of safeties. But, we'll see what happens. You never know with injuries. And also Wayne Gallman. Wayne Gallman, the running back, he should be a good option to bring in. Hopefully we can sign Wayne Gallman. But I wouldn't be surprised as well if we draft a running back too. 49ers Ultimate Report. 2 options. Trade McGlinchey for a second-round pick on the day of the draft, or keep him without the 5th-year option. Yeah, I agree. I feel like we should try to trade McGlinchey. Obviously, try to get the highest compensation we can get, preferably a first-round pick. There are a few teams that do need, tackles, offensive tackles. I think the Colts, the Jaguars, the Chargers. So there are a few teams that may be interested in trading for McGlinchey. And, if we can't get a trade for him, a 5th year, $10 million, I mean, it's not breaking the bank. I just hope he bounces back. I'm sure, John Jay, you hope the same, that he bounces back if he's still with the Niners this upcoming season. And hopefully it was just a blip and not a trend. Hopefully it was just a blip that he had, a down year last year. He was playing without his mentor, Joe Staley. And, he just, pass blocking wise, he didn't have one of his best seasons. So let's see. Derpy Boy, he says, in your opinion, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, or Mac Jones? I'm down with either Fields or Lance with that 3rd overall pick. I feel like they bring more to the table besides Mac Jones. And I feel like they'll just be more exciting in a 49er uniform. And, I like Fields or Lance. I've kind of prepared myself to not be disappointed because this is all about Shanahan's pick. Who is Shanahan's guy? This is all about Shanahan. This is the first time Shanahan has had, a first-round pick that's going to be a quarterback, and I'm just curious to see who does he feel will fit his system the best. Fields obviously played at a higher level at Ohio State, played against better competition. He played more games last year, so there is more film on Fields compared to Lance. But, both of them can sling the rock. They can run with the best of them. And, I'm intrigued. I can't wait. Looks like Redder says, to be honest, Mac Jones is underrated, just not 3rd pick. No, and that's exactly how I feel. Like, I feel like if Fields and Lance weren't, let's say they were going back to college the following year, and the only quarterbacks that came out were Lawrence, Wilson, and Jones, and I feel like, okay, Jones is probably the 3rd best quarterback. Or you could say he might be arguably better than Zach Wilson. And the reason I say that is because, Zach Wilson I think he played 3 years at BYU. Obviously, he didn't play against the competition that Mac Jones played against. But Zach Wilson had that off year with BYU. He had 2 pretty good seasons. And then Mac Jones just exploded onto the scene at Alabama. And he had an excellent year, very accurate quarterback. But I just feel like there are other players, Fields and Lance, who are, have a higher ceiling than Mac Jones. But if Mac Jones was coming out this year and he was, there was only 3 quarterbacks coming out and Mac Jones was included, I would say Mac Jones would probably be the 3rd best quarterback. But I feel like the Niners could have got Mac Jones at pick 12. I don't know any other teams that were interested in Mac Jones in the top 10. So looks like Redder says Steelers could use Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, because I believe the Steelers they haven't re-signed Alejandro Villanueva. They haven't re-signed him yet. I know he's still a free agent on the market. And Derpy Boy, yeah, Aldon Smith signed with the Seahawks and was also, yeah, I know, I heard about that. That's crazy. Aldon Smith, one of the, he had some great moments in a 49er uniform. Him and a lot of the defensive players who were under Harbaugh. He balled out with the Niners. He just couldn't make, good decisions off the field, unfortunately. And, he was out of the NFL for a few years. Dallas Cowboys took a chance on him. He played pretty well with the Cowboys the first few games of last year. I believe he had like 4 or 5 sacks, and 3 of those sacks were against Seattle. And he didn't do much the rest of the year, but, he was out of football for like, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 years. So, I couldn't believe it. I guess when I saw it, I was just hoping it wasn't true, that he's being charged, with assault and battery. And supposedly he knows the guy. So you just hope it isn't true. But I hear there's video footage of the incident at the coffee shop involving Aldon Smith. So, yeah, it just sucks because he was just getting his NFL career kick-started again. So hopefully it's not true. That's all I can hope for. And hopefully he learns from this. So, but yeah, I mean, Aldon Smith, if he was playing against us, that would have been tough because the NFC West is no joke. We got some defensive players in the NFC West division, and it's going to be a battle every time we play a NFC West opponent. So it looks like the Redder says Steelers could trade a second and a late round pick for Mike. Yeah, I think that would be good compensation. And it's not like I don't like Mike. It's not like I don't think he's that good. I just feel like we paid Trent Williams big bucks. I don't think we're going to pay another right tackle that money. So instead of extending McGlinchey to a long-term contract extension, we could draft his replacement and we could have that player for the next 4 to 5 seasons. I just feel like that just makes more sense, And he plays right tackle. Normally, you don't pay right tackles huge money. Usually, the left tackles get the big money. Usually, that's how it goes. Matt Navarro, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Looks like Redder says 49ers are a quarterback and a cornerback away from Super Bowl win. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jimmy G can get us back there, If he can duplicate his 2019 season, I think he can get us back there. What I want to see from Jimmy is obviously, he stays healthy for a full 16. He's got to not throw as many interceptions. It would almost be a perfect season if Jimmy G could throw, like 20 plus touchdown passes, like 25 to 30 touchdown passes, less than 10 interceptions. I think that would be a perfect season for him and also for the Niners. And he can basically pick a team where he wants to go to in the offseason, and we can ship him out there, And we got Jason Verrett, we got Mosley, we got K1 back. The boys are back in town, baby. So, but yeah, we definitely need to get a younger corner because, Verrett, unfortunately, he had a trend at the beginning of his career where he just couldn't stay healthy. And last year, he played 15 out of 16 games. But some would say that's a blip. And hopefully that blip could turn into a trend and JV can play another 15, 16 games next year. But we'll see what happens with that. And I feel like the team is set for a long playoff run. We solidified the offensive line, re-signing Trent, re-signed Alex Mack. So I feel like the offensive line is pretty much set for this season. We got the backs. We got Mostert. We got Wilson Jr. We got Hasty. We got Kittle. We got the show. We got Debo. I feel like we need another receiver. We need another receiver like Emmanuel Sanders, a veteran, a crafty veteran who knows what defenses are running when he sees the defense, when he comes out of the huddle and he's in his stance. He can see what the defense is running. He knows how to get open. He can catch the ball with his hands. He's just a professional receiver. I feel like we needed that in the offseason to help Jimmy be his best. Looks like Steven says, Derpy Boy, yeah, Aldon's wanted in Kentucky. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You just got to hope it's not true. and you just got to wonder why. Like, what would bring Aldon to do that to a friend? Someone he knows. So, Redder, appreciate you coming through, man. Thanks for joining your boy Jay in the Bay. Looks like Derpy says, yeah, Jimmy has to work on his accuracy and then he'll be good. Yeah. I think first I think he has to trust his offensive line. I think that was an issue because he would get happy feet when the pass rush was coming to him, and the best quarterbacks can feel the rush before it gets to them, and they can maneuver out the pocket or step up into the pocket. And Jimmy has done that. He stepped up into the pocket and he's made throws. He's taken big hits while delivering throws. So for me, Jimmy just has to stay healthy, make the right reads, trust his offensive line, and try not to turn the ball over, because turnovers kill teams. Brandon the King, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream. He says, well, so long, Jordan Reed. He was my favorite backup tight end. Warner could step up, and Ross Dwelly as well. Yeah, I believe we cut Warner. I think the backup tight end. I believe we cut Warner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we cut Warner. And yeah, Jordan Reed. He had he was a pretty good tight end when healthy. He had a Pro Bowl season when he was with the Washington football team. I believe that season, it was 2015, the Washington football team went to the playoffs. Jordan Reed was, one of their best, tight ends, or I should say best receivers that year. He had like 80 plus catches, 10 plus touchdowns. But, it was the injuries that unfortunately ended Jordan Reed's career. He had multiple knee injuries, foot injuries, 7 documented concussions. So his body was just beat up, and it's unfortunate because I wanted to see Jordan Reed and Kittle. How many games did they play this year? Jordan Reed and Kittle. I don't think that many. Less than 4 probably, because Reed was out. He only played 10 games. Kittle got hurt. So I wanted to see Jordan Reed come back and line up with Kittle again. But unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. And Ross Dwelly's solid. He's just not a playmaker. I feel like he knows how to do everything, but he just doesn't do anything great. But we'll see what Kittle and Dwelly do, and that could be an option. We could bring in another tight end, free agency, or possibly the draft. Thanks for coming through, Redder. You have a great day as well, man. I'll see you at the next stream. Looks like Niners All Day says, who is your guys' draft crush? Mine is Bobby Brown III. He's a monster from Texas, and hopefully we get him in the 4th or 5th round. I really like Najee Harris. I think it would be excellent if the Niners could draft back up could trade back up into the 1st round, pick up a running back, Najee Harris. I think it's important that we keep our strength. So, for instance, we already got a good running game, but we should need to keep that, continue that to be a strength. Jeff Wilson Jr. is only on a 1-year deal. Mostert, he's getting closer to 30. Usually when running backs get to 30, there's a drop off from there on. And, that's what Shanahan wants to do, or at least that's what he's proven that he wants to do with Jimmy G and that quarterback. He wants to run the ball effectively. Games are won and lost in the trenches, and the 49ers have to win at the line of scrimmage. We got to win with our offensive line, got to win with our defensive line, and we need to continue running the ball, winning the time of possession, lessening our turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, and I think we'll be good. But yeah, mine is Najee Harris. Hopefully we could trade back up into the 1st and pick him up. I think that would be a great pickup. Obviously, running back isn't a position of need that high in the draft, I know, but Najee Harris is an excellent running back out of Bama. And looks like Bobby Brown III at Texas A&M. He looks like Niners All Day says he plays defensive line. Okay. Matt Navarro says the Aldon situation is crazy. He was choking someone. Yeah, I know. I heard. Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate because, obviously Aldon Smith had his issues when he was with the Niners. He just couldn't make, good decisions off the field. And it seemed like he turned over a new leaf. He was suspended from the league for a few years. Seemed like he hit rock bottom. And usually, when someone hits rock bottom, usually they either straighten up, start making better decisions, or it gets worse. And it seems like he was starting to make better decisions. It seemed like he had turned his life around. He started working out with Jay Glazer, and Jay Glazer was a great role model for Aldon, but this just came out of nowhere. I don't know why Aldon did that, but we'll see. I'm sure the video will come out sooner than later, and the facts will come out. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Looks like Derpy Boy says, who do you think is our biggest NFC West threat this year? Man, that's a great question, Derpy. And I appreciate you joining me on the stream. Yeah, every team in the NFC West has an argument that they could win the playoff, that they could win the division at least. And I would say, it's Seattle. It's got to be Seattle. The Seahawks, they're never out of the game with Russell Wilson. They always give us fits. The Seahawks do. We've had the Rams number the last few years, but that's when they've had Jared Goff, and it's going to be a different game when we play the Rams now with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, he is a better quarterback than Goff. I know Matt Stafford hasn't had the playoff success, but he's played with the Detroit Lions. I mean, I don't even think the Lions have ever won a Super Bowl. And I don't remember the last time. When was the last time the Detroit Lions were in an NFC Championship game? Like, it's just been so many years of losing for that franchise. So Matt Stafford have a breath of fresh air and a new scenery with a much better team on both sides of the ball with the Rams. So they're going to be a tough out. The Cardinals will be tough with Kyler because Kyler, he's a mobile quarterback. He gives us fits whenever the Niners play him. But I would say it's still Seattle. But I feel like every team, it's going to be a tough division this year. Like, every team can knock each other off. So we'll see. But I can't wait until the season starts and we play our NFC West opponents, because every team has upgraded, and I just can't wait to see what comes to fruition. Looks like Niners All Day says the Rams are cards. The Seagulls are not really scaring me when they have no O-line. Yeah, I know, but they got the quarterback. They got Russell Wilson. He's looking to the right, looking to the left. And they also got DK Metcalf, Tyler Baldwin. They got weapons on both sides of the ball. Now, yeah, they do need to improve their offensive line. And also, their running game has kind of been inconsistent. Chris Carson, he's sometimes he's hurt. But, Seahawks will still be a problem. But, as long as Russell Wilson is lining up behind center, Seahawks will be a problem. I don't think there will be any easy game in our division this year. I don't see it. I don't see any easy games. It's going to be a tough division. Brandon the King says, the team that scares me next season is surprisingly the Browns. The Browns ain't the Browns no more. No, I agree. I agree with you. The Cleveland Browns are a good team. As long as Baker, the team can run the ball, Baker can work off play action passes. And the defense, they got first they got Myles Garrett, and they signed Jadeveon Clowney. And Clowney, he doesn't get the sacks, but maybe in a new scenery, a lot of the double teams will go towards Myles Garrett. Clowney will have one-on-one matchups, and we'll see how he does. He doesn't get a lot of sacks. He is good against the run. But yeah, the Browns are a good team. The Browns are definitely a good team. If I had to think of the division winners, obviously I would take the Niners in the NFC West. Let's see, the NFC South probably be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. NFC East, off the top of my head, I would go maybe Cowboys or Giants, maybe Washington. Washington is pretty good. I'll probably take Washington in the NFC East. NFC North, let's see, you got the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings. I would probably take the Packers. So it's going to be the division. I feel it's going to be wide open. I don't think any team in the NFC West is going to win probably more than 11 games. And we're just going to be knocking each other off. Looks like Derby says, what is your prediction for us this year? Great question. I would have to have the schedule in front of me to see like who do I think will win against. But and also, the team is still getting better. But I feel we should go to the playoffs. I feel like we should be a contending team in the NFC West. We should go to the playoffs. I don't see why we shouldn't, especially if the team can stay healthy. On the defensive side of the ball, Bosa's coming back. We stole Samson E. Bucum from them good old LA Rams. He's going to be rushing the passer as well. Hopefully Armstead could come back and have a better year than he had last year. And we got Javon Kinlaw. Expectations are high for Kinlaw, baby. Hopefully Kinlaw can continue to get better and continue to take on double teams and be good against the run and maybe get a few sacks. That's what I'm looking forward to for Kinlaw. Fred Warner, he's going to lead us. He's the best defensive player on the team. Obviously, him and Bosa, and a lot of what I would say is it's health. If we stay healthy, I feel like we can be a contender in the NFC West. And if I had to think of a record off the top of my head, I would probably say maybe like 11-6, maybe 12-5. If all our players can stay healthy, that's what I'm thinking. Looks like Matt Navarro says, if I were to be realistic, I say 10-7 or 11-6. Yeah, I can see that. Because I don't think we're going. I honestly don't think we're going to beat every division team. I just don't see that. I don't see us going 6-0 in our division. I'd be shocked by that. There's going to be some games that don't go our way in our division, so I'd be surprised if we. But 10-7, 11-7, that's a good record. Looks like Brendan the King says 49ers have a chance at going 14-3. Let's go, Niner Nation. I like your optimism. But 14-3, that's a hell of a season. But yeah, let me look up. Let's see, what is our schedule? Let's see, what is our schedule this year? Let's see. Who do we play this year? And would you guys go to a 49er game this year if you could? How would you guys feel about that? Let me know in the comments. Would you go to a 49er game this year? I definitely miss going to the games. I would definitely go this year. But what do you guys think? Would you guys go to a 49er game this year? So let's see. So we don't have the actual schedule, but the opponents are, let's see, our home opponents. We play Green Bay Packers at home. We got the Vikings at home. We got them good old ATL Falcons at home. The Colts at home. The Texans, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. So between Green Bay, we should be able to beat the Packers. Vikings, we should be able to beat the Vikings. Falcons, we should beat the Falcons. I think we should be able to beat Indianapolis and the Texans. And then we got the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks. So I would say our home record between those eight games, Packers, Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Texans, Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks. If we went like 6-2 at home, I think that would be excellent. And on the road, we have the Eagles, Titans, Jaguars, Lions, Bears, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, and Bengals. So we should definitely be able to beat Philly. We should be able to beat Jacksonville, Detroit, Cincinnati, Chicago. Tennessee is pretty good. That'll definitely be a tough game on the road. But yeah, I think we should definitely. So yeah, I feel like on the road, out of those 8 games, Philly, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Detroit, Chicago, Cincinnati, and then our 3 division opponents, we should definitely be able to win against Chicago, Philly, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Detroit, and Cincinnati. We should at least be able to win those 6 games. Division games, it's going to be, On the road against Arizona, LA, and Seattle, those would be tough games. So yeah, I think a 12-5 record is possible, or 11-6, looking at the schedule. So looks like Niners All Day says he thinks about 10-6. Yeah, I can 10-6-1. Oh, okay. Looks like Niners All Day envisions a tie in the future. That's interesting. 10-6-1. Yeah, I don't see why we can't win 10 games based on our schedule. Big Low Country Sports, what's good? We was just talking about them good old ATL Falcons. They're going to have to fly out to the Bay Area, and I can't wait till we play them good old ATL Falcons. That's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. What in the world, Bo? What in the world, Bo? Did I say it right? Make sure y'all check out Big Low Country Sports on YouTube. Excellent content creator. I appreciate you for coming through, man. We were just talking about the record for the Niners. I think we could definitely win at no less than 10 games, maybe even 12, depending upon, what happens in health-wise. Looks like Derpy Boy says, what are your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson accuser speaking out? I would say is speak your truth. That's what I would say. I just want the facts to come out with the Deshaun Watson case. Obviously, we don't know what transpired. We weren't there in the room, but I just want the facts to come out and Deshaun Watson to be held responsible for his actions. That's all I can say about that. What you think about that, Derpy Boy? Looks like Matt says, can't win them all. I know, right? But looking at the schedule, I wouldn't say we don't have no cupcake games, but there are teams that we're definitely better than on the schedule. So as long as we, win the game through the trenches, establish our offensive line and defensive line, don't turn the ball over, don't have, penalties, we should be able to beat a lot of teams that I saw on the schedule. Looks like Niners all day. When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I might be saying that a few times during the season when the season starts. Hopefully not too many. Hopefully there'll be more games where I'm coming out, I'm wearing my mask or something like that. The Niners are coming off of a victory Sunday or victory Monday. But yeah, we're not going to win every game. We're not going to go 17-0, but I could definitely see us winning a lot of our games. We should, if Jimmy G stays healthy, we should win, I would say, at least between 10 to 12 games this season, I would say, if Jimmy G's healthy. So yeah, I can't wait for the season to start. Draft is less than 10 days away. What's today's date? Let's see. Today's the 20th. So we about 9 days away. Faithful. I can't wait for the draft to come. Looks like Big Low Country Sports says it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what them good old ATL Falcons do in the draft. Big Low Country. Y'all got the 4th overall pick. I hear you guys might be trading down, maybe with the team, so that way another team can come up and draft a quarterback. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys do, because if you can't trade out, you're going to have to pick somebody. Maybe a quarterback, maybe Pitts. I know you guys need defense, but is there a defensive player worthy with the top 4 pick in this year's draft? I don't think so. So you might have to go with the BPA, best player available, Bo. But we'll see what happens. 9 days away. 9 days away. Niners all day. I can't wait. And yeah, I just wanted to create this stream, talk to fellow Niner fans, talk about, Alex Smith's legacy with the Niners. Obviously, it was a roller coaster career with the Niners, as John Jay, the 49ers Ultimate Report, said. Check out his YouTube. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster career for Alex Smith. We definitely didn't help Alex Smith out, because he had, several different offensive coordinators throughout the first 5 years of his career. He only had 2 offensive coordinators that stayed with him more than one season. That was Jimmy Ray and Greg Roman. So that definitely did not help Alex Smith be the best quarterback he could be. But, he turned out an excellent career. He had great seasons with KC. He was going to lead Washington to the playoffs, and then he got hurt. So Shout out to Alex Smith, and he had an excellent career and generational wealth. Ain't nothing better than that, baby. Just like Matt Navarro says, next Thursday is going to be the big day. Can't wait anymore. I know, right? I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep the night before. I'll be so excited for the draft to come. So, and, the Niners are hosting Wayne Gallman, the running back from the Giants. He played pretty well with the Giants. He's been with the team for 3 years, so we'll see what happens with Wayne Gallman. Maybe we can extend him a contract. He would definitely bring more talent and elevate the running back room because, hey, injuries happen. We've seen it. We saw it last year. That tons of injuries happened last year, and maybe we could bring in. I don't know if Shanahan holds 5 running backs, including Juszczyk, but he would definitely elevate the running back room. Wayne Gallman, and Lynch. What do you guys think? Do you think we need to get? Am I the only one that thinks that we need to get another receiver? I don't know how y'all feel, but Mohamed Sanu, he just don't cut it for me. I mean, he was with the team last year, 1 target, 1 catch, played 3 games, and then was cut. We need to get another receiver. We got to help out Jimmy G. Let's see. Niners All Day says, you know how Fields went to Kyle's quarterback collective, which makes quarterback supposedly better. So wouldn't it make sense to take him at 3 and Kyle's a genius? Oh, we were going to get Fields from the start. He's our guy. Yeah, we'll see. But I think Shanahan feels he can mold any quarterback. I feel like Shanahan feels he's such a genius offensive coordinator, offensive play designer that he can mold any quarterback and make them better when he's under their tutelage. Like what did he see in C.J. Beathard? What did Shanahan see in Beathard? Like he thought Beathard would be a solid quarterback, traded up to get him in the 3rd round. But we'll see. It's like Niners All Day says, it just makes sense, Yeah, Fields and Kyle, they have a relationship. I would be surprised if we don't get Fields. But, Lance makes a great case that he should be, taken within the top 5 draft. So we'll see. Looks like Niners All Day says, I love Michael. He's actually really good. And looks like Derpy Boy says, I got to go. Thanks for coming through, Derpy Boy. Thanks for coming through to the stream. And I'll catch you on the next one. Niners All Day says, yeah, but Kyle knows Phil since he was 17. I'd be shocked if we don't take him. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be somewhat surprised. But, Trey Lance makes a great case that he could have a higher ceiling than Fields. So I just can't wait. I can't wait. 9 days away. Can't come any sooner. I wish it was tonight. But I think whoever Shanahan picks, he'll be able to mold into the player he wants. And, everything happens for a reason. Hopefully Jimmy comes through this season with a fire lit under him, and he'll be ready to ball out and prove that he's still an upper echelon quarterback, because in the 2019 season, I feel Jimmy G was playing as like a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league. And if he balls out like that again, takes us to the playoffs, he'll be looking for his next big NFL contract with a different team. And he will do himself a favor and also the 49ers. So hopefully Jimmy G comes in motivated and he's ready to go. Nico Wilson, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream. He says, going to miss Alex Smith. Never stopped watching him after the 49ers. He continued to get better and better. Now, I totally agree. We definitely didn't elevate Alex Smith to where he needed to be. When I say we, I'm talking about like the coaching staff. Mike Nolan, clearly he wasn't the man for the job. And, you have to have stability at, there was stability at the head coach position, I guess. It was, even though that was his first head coaching job, Mike Nolan, rolling with Nolan. But you can't have different offensive coordinators. Like, that doesn't help a quarterback. And, obviously Alex Smith has to take some blame for it as well, because when you look at his numbers, his first few years, he definitely wasn't accurate throwing the ball. There were some seasons where he only completed like 50% of his passes and things like that. But also, you gotta continue to build talent around the quarterback. You know, if you want someone to succeed, you got to continue to build talent around him. And who was Alex Smith's best receiver when he was with the Niners? I mean, of course, you think of Crabtree, but he didn't come on till a little bit later. Actually, I think Crabtree might have been drafted. Was Crabtree drafted in the 06 draft? I think Michael Crabtree. I think Crabtree was drafted in the 2006 NFL draft. Obviously, you got Vernon Davis, and but there were a few draft picks for receivers that didn't pan out. So, but let's see. Looks like Matt says doesn't really matter who we pick. Honestly, I think three of those guys could do well. I kind of feel the same way. I believe in Shanahan. I believe in the teacher in Shanahan. He comes from a great pedigree. You know, his dad was an excellent head coach. So I feel like whoever we pick, Shanahan will make the best out of whichever quarterback we pick. I feel like any quarterback that comes out between the top five, the quarterback we select will have the best overall career under Shanahan. And I'm comparing that to Trevor Lawrence, potentially if he gets drafted by the Jags and he'll be under Urban Meyer. I'm putting that up against Zach Wilson with the Jets under Robert Saleh. And let's see. If obviously against us, if whoever quarterback we get, Lance or Fields, and they'll be under the tutelage of Shanahan, I feel like our quarterback will do the best because we have we got stability. We got the head coach. We got the front office. We got the skilled position players. We have everything in place to help a quarterback be great in this league. Matt says, but if I were to say who I want, it would be Justin Fields, of course. Yeah, I think we should definitely get Fields, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get Lance. I wouldn't be surprised. Now I would be surprised if we get Mac Jones. That's what would surprise me if we got Mac Jones. Let's see. Niners all day. He says, here's my thing. Mac is not a top 10 quarterback. These reporters had Mac in the later round, and all of a sudden he's a third pick. Yeah, right. If we don't take him at 3, he's not in the top 10 anymore, just to say. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Adam Schefter made a report saying that, there's no doubt about it. Mac Jones is getting selected by the Niners. And it's like, well, where did all this come from? Because earlier in the year, I didn't see Mac Jones being a top 10 quarterback, a top 10 draft. I should say a top 10 drafted player in this year's draft. I didn't see it. Really didn't see anything until Adam Schefter said, oh, yeah, Mac Jones will be drafted by the Niners. And this just came out of nowhere. So I would be surprised if we moved up to 3 to get Mac. I would be surprised by that. Looks like Nico says, I feel like if Wilson isn't there at 3, it's going to be Lance. He's actually pretty impressive in center. Yeah, and I could see Lance because I feel like Lance and Fields can do similar things on the football field, but they both have similar build. They both can run out the pocket. They both can survey the field. They're both very athletic. So I feel like they can bring similar things to the quarterback position. So it's just whoever Shanahan feels fits the most. Whoever Shanahan feels will do what he wants on the football field. So I'm intrigued. 9 days away, baby. Let's see, Niners all day. Don't think Lance compares to Fields at all, in my opinion. He's just the better player. Fields to the Bay. I hear you. Fields played, at Ohio State. He played against tougher competition. He actually played multiple games last year. Lance only played 1. I don't know. When I see Lance and Fields, to me they look similar. But what does Shanahan see when he watches both of them? That's what I'm curious about. What does Shanahan see? Because Shanahan loved Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins, I think he's won. Has he won? I think he's won 1 playoff game with the Vikings since he signed that big deal with the Vikings. So, what does Shanahan see? Let's see. Looks like Matt says it has to be either Fields or Lance. Both of them, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's either one or the other, Fields or Lance. I feel like under the tutelage of Shanahan, either one of them was going to be successful. That's what I feel. If we get Mac Jones, I think he could be successful. Sure. I just feel like Fields or Lance, they bring more to the table. Looks like Nico says Lance will be behind Jimmy Garoppolo, and there are upgrade at backup quarterback Lynch was wanting. That's a great point. Because I was saying this last year that we have to, not last year, actually, I was saying this after the season ended that we have to upgrade the quarterback room. The Mullins and Beathard experiment, it's over. It's over. No more. We've seen enough. We've seen enough of Mullins and Beathard. It was time to move on. Lynch signed Nate Sudfeld, 1-year deal from the Philadelphia Eagles. Josh Johnson is still on the team. He was on the team. I believe he was on the team last year. What else? Of course, we still got Jimmy G, and I think we got one more QB. For some reason, I can't think of their name. But yeah, we definitely needed to get better at the quarterback position. We need to upgrade the quarterback room. And honestly, I feel like since the issues happened with Deshaun Watson, that's why we traded up into the top 3. If the allegations never came out with Deshaun Watson, I find it hard to believe that we would trade into the top 3. But since that happened, that accelerated this move by the Niners to, okay, we need to trade up into the top 3 to get one of the best 5 quarterback prospects coming out of the college. And that's why I think they moved up to the top 3. Let's see. Matt says, have the 49ers even attended Zach Wilson's pro day? That's a good question. I don't even know if they attended Zach Wilson's pro day. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. And the thing is, even if Shanahan and Lynch don't attend the pro day, the 49ers will still send people to attend, players' pro day. It doesn't always have to be Shanahan because, Lynch is the GM. He does make the draft selections. With this pick, though, in the 3rd overall pick, I feel like Shanahan will have the final say in who picks who we pick at the number 3 pick, because it's going to be a quarterback. I feel like Shanahan will have the final say. But I feel like for all the other picks, I'm sure Shanahan has input with Lynch, but I believe Lynch makes the final selection for majority of the draft picks. Niners All Day says yes. And looks like Niners All Day says that's when we traded up. Yeah, and then Matthew Navarro says Mullins is a low budget Brett Favre. I don't know about that. I mean, Mullins, he definitely had, his good times. He had some, it was almost like a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster with Mullins. Sometimes he looked solid, other times he looked horrible. But I'm hoping the best for Mullins. I think he's still a free agent. I know Beathard signed with Jacksonville, but I think Mullins is still a free agent. So hopefully someone picks him up. Ronnie Morgan, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Ronnie. And looks like Niners All Day says, we sent John Lynch and some scouts to Wilson's pro day. Okay. Yeah, I think Shanahan just wasn't there. But, there's a lot of pro days going on. I'm sure whatever intel the 49ers get, obviously that information is, will be sent to Shanahan to see, okay, this is what we saw. This is what was positive. This is what was negative. So I'm sure, because I think for Justin Fields' first pro day, Shanahan wasn't there. But I think some other 49er personnel were there. And then for the second pro day, the 49ers were definitely more involved. And also with Trey Lance's second pro day, the 49ers were involved with routes, plays, and things like that. Niners All Day says, I think Wilson is our number 1 option. He could be. I mean, there is no indication that the Jets will take Wilson. I mean, I know the Jets traded Darnold to the Panthers. So clearly they're going to be selecting a quarterback. We just don't know who they feel is their number 1 option on the board. Looks like Nico says, I would let Jimmy go for less than a first-round pick. Would you? Nah, I don't think so. Now, I'll throw another question back at you, Nico. So if we trade Jimmy for less than a first-round pick, would you want, let's say if we drafted Justin Fields, would you want Justin Fields to start from game 1 since Jimmy won't be there in your scenario? Would you be comfortable with that? Let me know, Nico. Would you want, if we drafted Justin Fields, would you want him to start from game 1 if we trade Jimmy? For me, I wouldn't want to trade Jimmy for less than a first round. Now, if it was like, if it was for like multiple day 2 picks, so like maybe a few second rounders, like 2 second rounders and a third, I would want to have to be blown away to get rid of Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy is more valuable based on what I've seen. In 2019, the year he took us to the Super Bowl, he showed us that he can lead a team to a deep playoff run and get us to a Super Bowl. And I feel like I would want to be blown away by an offer, like with an offer that I couldn't refuse. And for less than a first round pick, nah. I mean, I would want to keep Jimmy, bring him back in. Now, if Jimmy said, "Hey, I want to be traded," I'm a force to trade. That's a totally different story. But if I had my druthers, Jimmy wouldn't be going anywhere this season unless we get an offer that I can't refuse, unless it was a first round pick this year and maybe some compensation for the following year. I would have to be blown away. It's like Niners All Day says, we sent Mike Shanahan and 4 scouts to Fields Pro Day when Kyle wasn't there. So that means a lot that he sent his own father. Yeah, I mean, Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan are obviously still very close. Mike Shanahan attends the games. I'm sure he helps, Kyle when he needs it. But yeah, that intel that they get, they relay that to Kyle. So even if Shanahan isn't there, Kyle Shanahan isn't there, he will still get the information. Let's see. Nico says, I wouldn't let Jimmy go for a first round. Would you? It would have to be like a first round and other compensation. It would have to be like a first round and maybe a few more day 2 picks, like a second and a third or 2 seconds or something like that. I would have to be blown away by an offer to get rid of Jimmy this year because I don't want to start a rookie quarterback. And I don't want to start Josh Rosen. I definitely don't want to do that. So Niners All Day says, I think Fields needs some polishing and can start week 10 if they really wanted to. That's another interesting point, Niners All Day. If we get off to an excellent start in the season, let's say by week 10 we are, let's say 6-4, 7-3. I don't think there'd be any reason to bench Jimmy G. I don't see it. The only way I would see benching Jimmy is if he wasn't playing well at all, the team was struggling. But if we have a winning record and Jimmy G's playing well, I see that he plays the entire season. I don't feel there's no need to, bring in the rookie quarterback. Like, for instance, with the Dolphins last year, I don't know what they were doing. Fitzpatrick was playing well. The team had a winning record. And they decided to put Tua Tagovailoa in. And clearly Tua, he had some good games and he had some bad games, but he was benched twice. So clearly he wasn't, ready. And the coaching staff, didn't fully believe in him. But I definitely think Jimmy should stay the starter if the team is successful, for sure. Looks like Niners All Day says, I think if you're expecting Jimmy to get injured, you have to take Fields because Lance will not be ready, in my opinion. I think that is a very good point. At this point, can you really say that Jimmy's going to play 14, 15 games next year? I don't know if you can realistically say that because he's been hurt, unfortunately, more than he's been healthy for the 49ers. So I think Lynch made a point. We have to improve the quarterback room or at least get, different players. We got Rosen, we got Sudfeld, Josh Johnson is in there, and we got rid of Mullins and Beathard. So looks like Nico says, I don't think we were there for Mike Jones at his pro day. We were there for the running back. Do you think we push up to grab him in the early second or late first? Yeah, if you're talking about Najee Harris, yeah, hopefully we could. He's a first-round pick. I will. He'll be a late first-round pick. I know the Steelers are picking between, I think they're picking between 20 and 25, the Steelers are. The Steelers are probably definitely going to get a running back. I don't know if they value Najee Harris better or Etienne, the running back from Clemson, I think. I don't know which running back they value more or who's the better prospect, but the Steelers will definitely probably draft a running back. And if we do get Najee, we'll probably have to trade back up into the first round of the draft to pick him. But I think that'd be an excellent addition to add him to the running back room of Mostert, Wilson, and Hasty. So That would be a good option for the Niners. Looks like Niners says I have heard that Najee said that we were in contact with him the most out of anybody, so maybe we do trade up for him. That would be an excellent addition. We all know Shanahan loves to run the ball. His dad, basically got any running back who went behind his offensive line and his system in Denver, and he churned out a lot of no name running backs and made them 1,000+ yard rushers like Clinton Portis. Uh, I'm blanking on the other names, but Clinton Portis is one of the most popular running backs who played for Denver. But they also had plenty of other running backs, not big name guys, who played well under Shanahan's run scheme offense. So by saying that, that doesn't increase the chances of the 49ers trading back into the first round, because that's a high draft pick to pick a running back when you can get a running back, an undrafted running back, or a running back in the later rounds of the draft, and they'll perform well in Shanahan's system. But Najee seems like an upper echelon talent coming out of the draft. And that would be an intriguing move for the Niners to trade back into the first to pick up Najee Harris. That would be an excellent move, but also we have other needs. I mean, we know we got to get corner, we got to get interior offensive linemen. We have to make a decision on McGlinchey. We got to see what he does. Thanks for coming through, Niners All Day, man. I appreciate you coming through, always coming through, enjoying the stream, and conversing with me. I appreciate it. 9 more days, Niners All Day. Let's go. But we all know we have needs at the cornerback position. We got to get better at interior offensive lineman. Alex Mack, he's only on like a 1 year, basically a 1 year guaranteed deal. I know it's 3 years, but he's 36. There's no guarantee he's going to play the next 3 years. So we probably should get an interior offensive lineman. Got to figure out what we're going to do with McGlinchey. Are we going to, exercise that 5th-year option with McGlinchey? You'll pay him $10 million next year. Even if we do, we still should get another tackle, someone that can learn behind McGlinchey for a year, also learn behind Trent Williams. And so we got to get, obviously we need a corner, as Osby Sports says. Osby Sports, he obviously says we need a cornerback. Yeah, because Verrett's on a 1 year deal, K'Waun Williams on a 1 year deal. K'Waun was hurt a lot of last year. Throughout Verrett's career, he's been hurt. A lot of the seasons, he's been hurt more often than not. Last year, hopefully, it was a trend for health coming up this year. And, we'll see what happens. And also with Mosley. Mosley got hurt last year, too. So it would be nice to have a young corner come in, learn under Jason Verrett and Mosley and K'Waun Williams. And also, with all of our safeties, because we have an experienced group, and a rookie can learn a lot from learning from all of our experienced persons in the secondary. So I think that would be great. And also we got to get corner, interior offensive lineman, right tackle. I feel like an edge rusher, and also a receiver. Those are definitely positions that we need. 9 more days until the draft. I most likely will be live streaming during the draft. I don't know if I'll do the entire first round. But I'll definitely do at least the top 10 and, go from there, because I'm sure there's going to be some trades happening in the top 10. There could be a lot of movement going on in the top 10. If people weren't here early in the show, I did do an unboxing, and I unboxed this shirt. Wifey got your boy some new swag. So make sure you guys check out Kelts Chronicles on YouTube. He makes 49er content. He talks about the red and gold. He's infatuated with Trey Lance. And it looks like Livy's World says, what's good? Thanks for coming through, Livy's World. Glad you're enjoying the show. Ozu Sports says, great show. Yeah, I appreciate you all for coming through. I just wanted to hop on for a little bit, talk about Alex Smith and his legacy with the team. And he had an excellent career post 49ers. And the last 2 years, Alex Smith was with the Niners. He had pretty good seasons under Harbaugh. That's where he played his best football. So let me know if you guys have any more questions, comments. anything you want to holler at, make sure you just leave a message in those comments. And let's see, Steven says, do you think losing Salah is going to be detrimental to the defense this year? That's a great question. You know, Salah was excellent defensive coordinator, very passionate on the sideline. He knows his X's and O's. I think we'll be fine with Salah, and I hope the best for Salah in the Big Apple with the New York Jets, and hopefully he has a successful season there. But yeah, I think we'll be fine without Salah. You know, D'Amico Ryan's coming in. He's a former player. He played the position of linebacker at a high level with Houston and Philly. And what D'Amico will have to, he knows the scheme, right? He knows the scheme. He's learned under Salah. He's played the scheme before, so he knows the scheme. Now, what defensive coordinators have to get great at is play calling. So that's where there will be somewhat of a drop-off with play calling, because I'm sure when Salah was in there, he was very comfortable. He knew, okay, if it's third and short, if it's fourth and whatever, second and 10, I have an idea of what I want to run, and I have an idea of what the offensive formation is going to be. How can I manipulate that formation? How can I get the upper hand on an offensive formation? So I think that's what D'Amico Ryan will have to, he'll have to take some lumps in as far as play calling, when to blitz, things like that, what he wants to do. So that's a great question, though, Steven. And thanks for watching the stream. Looks like Ronnie says, I try to catch you next time. I appreciate you coming through, Ronnie, you and Big Low Country Sports. I appreciate y'all coming through and enjoying the stream. And, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Alex Smith and talk about the Niners brought in Wayne Gallman, the running back from the Giants, I believe for a physical, and hopefully we could sign him. Also, Arden Key, the former defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders. He came in to check in with the Niners. We'll see what happens with that. Ronald Blair, I don't know what happened with Ronald Blair. I don't know. A week ago, he got a physical. He was supposed to resign. Haven't heard anything, but make sure you guys stay tuned in to Jay and the Bay YouTube channel. Obviously, talking about the Niners and any updates, things like that. You can always tune in to your boy, Jay in the Bay. And let me know if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns. Let your boy know. Make sure if you had a good time during the stream, you like the video. I appreciate it. And also make sure you subscribe to Jay and the Bay on YouTube, IG, and Twitter. And I appreciate you guys for showing your boy some love. And looks like I'm out. Thanks for tuning in to Jay and the Bay. And the draft is only 9 days away, faithful. 9 days away. Let's go. And check out Kels Chronicles. And I appreciate all y'all coming through. If you're watching on the Spotlight Sports Network, I appreciate you coming through. And make sure you check out that Spotlight Sports Network. I appreciate it. Ronnie, already liked. I appreciate your support. See you later, Steven. It's been real. See y'all next time. Real soon.